Well, I'll tell you guys what, a permanent member of this program who's always welcome anytime he is available is MicroMike, who, again, is joining the program.
Shout out!
What up, though, man? What's going on? Hey, Booner, I had to help you out. Everybody's wearing hats. I decided not to wear a hat, so we make
Let's go. Thank you.
Better, man.
I have one sitting next to me. I won't put it on. Let's go.
Yeah, good, because if you do, I'm going to be a lone wolf, man. I don't like that.
I won't do that.
You're already. I mean, Mike, you're already alone at Ford Field, man. You don't need to be alone.
That's true. That's true, man. I'm alone at Ford Field 24/7. I'm surprised security's not found me and kicked me out of there. But look, it's free. It's free rent, and sometimes the cheerleaders are practicing, so I got to watch them.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair, Mike. I will give you that. Again, guys, if you don't know who Mike is or you never checked out his stuff, please go do it. Lions Talk by Chat Sports. He's crushing it. And Mike, I want to ask you, because Brad, his comments came out today and he talked with 97.1. I know you saw some of what he said. What has been your thoughts and kind of Brad's approach this free agency? Because I see a lot of the Lions fan base going one way, because it is exciting. Everyone uses the term one player away, which Brad kind of corrected at the same time when he talked with Jim and John. What are your thoughts on kind of his approach? What do you see Brad doing? Is it kind of like what I think is smart, short-term, contractually smart signings to improve this team? Or do you expect maybe a big move from Brad going out and getting a big fish? What say you?
It's going to be the same that we've been seeing, in my opinion, the short-term deals, the guys who potentially could help out more in depth-wise. Now, they could get one good guy. Say they want to get a Danielle Hunter if they can bring him for a short-term deal, maybe a 2 or 3 year deal. But I'm not expecting anything significant like a Chris Jones. I'm not expecting anything that we would see from the Washington Redskins back in the day with Albert Haynesworth or the Philadelphia Eagles, the dream team. They're going to continue to do what they do. And most importantly, with the money that they got, they're probably going to just re-sign their own guys, Lee McNeil, Penei Sewell, maybe St. Brown. That's the type of money they want to use on the cornerstones of this football team. Free agency, to them, it's more of filling the gaps instead of solidifying the holes, in my opinion.
I love that. Mike, I want to kind of go off that question as well. And at least on our show here the last few weeks, we've been kind of having this conversation of like our favorite pieces to add in free agency, all these random people and players. Do you have like a dream free agent scenario or a player that you like that you've been talking about and that you really want on this Detroit Lions team, maybe even on the defensive end?
Yeah, it's the defensive end, the edge position. Now, his name sounds like a girl, Danielle Hunter, but this guy don't play like a girl. 16.5 sacks. I think he would be amazing on this defensive line. Imagine him opposite of Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh, my gosh.
Imagine that. If you had Danielle Hunter in the NFC Championship game, we're playing in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I think he would be the perfect fit because he's 29. You're not going to have to do a 5-year deal. It could be a 2 to a 3 year deal. He's playing for a contender. You're removing that piece from the Minnesota Vikings and you bring him to the Detroit Lions. With the NFC North getting better, we need pass rush. He would be my perfect scenario player for the Lions.
I love that one.
I love it, Mike, and I'm all for it. But we just talked about defense. In your dream situation, whether it's through the draft or through free agency, who is your dream weapon for the Lions to add to their offense? It can be, like I said, draft prospect or free agent. Who would you love to see join this Lions offense?
Oh, man, the offense is so stacked. It's so good right now. Look, if we could bring back Josh Reynolds, I know it's not a big name. I would be happy with that because 600 yards, him and Jared Goff are on the same page. It's not going to cost that much. Continuity with the offense. I think that would be ideal for the offense. Maybe a Jonah Jackson, bringing him back. I don't think it's going to happen. But that would be nice. I'm not sure about like a Mike Evans, right? You can bring a Mike Evans in, but how much better is the offense really going to get? We're talking about a top 3 offense. What is it going to go to 2? When you can get the defense that's mid, and you can bring that up and really elevate the game of this football team. So honestly, re-signing our own guys, Graham Glasgow, Jonah Jackson, and Josh Reynolds, that would be ideal for me.
Okay.
Mike, thanks for joining us again. Obviously, Jerm got locked up today. Is there who is the next guy do you see getting re-signed? And if who would be the one guy that you don't see getting re-signed, if anything, and has to play out the year?
Jerm also, man, special teamer. Love what he did for the Lions. And he's pretty good defensively in the limited amount of snaps he get. Good little signing there, 2-year deal. I can see Graham Glasgow being next. easy deal to get in. He'd be your right guard immediately. They could draft a guy too in the draft to kind of supplement the future there. So I can see Graham Glasgow being next. I would like for CJ Gardner-Johnson come back. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're pretty good at the safety position with the Futu Malfanu, Brian Branch, and Kirby Joseph. It just doesn't seem like he's going to return. You know, he wants a full-time position, a full-time starting position. Probably not going to get it here, and he could be on his way out.
Yeah, Mike, Brad said today also just about kind of his approach, and he said he wouldn't be surprised if he moved back in the draft. And me and the guys discussed this a little earlier too, what we think would happen. If you were Brad Holmes, would you rather him move back or move up to go get a player that he desires? Because, again, you can move back and still get someone he likes, but what would you do? What do you think Brad Holmes will do this April for the NFL draft?
I think him staying at 29 is not going to happen. The odds of that occurring just seems unlikely. Honestly, either or would be good for me. If you're able to move up in the draft and get a player, not giving up too much assets like we did with Jameson Williams, I thought that trade was pretty good. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, if all their first round grade talent is not there, trade back. We're good in the second and the third round. We don't got a fourth round pick. Giving more cards to Brad Holmes, the ability to draft more players, honestly, it puts a smile on my face because this guy finds talent in all of the rounds. So either or would be fine. I just don't know. You know, if they wanted to get the Jared Verse, you have to go up probably near the top 10. Don't know how much that would be, but it'd be a hell of a pick. Or if they're trying to get a said corner, I'm cool with it either way. Brad Holmes, he's a G. He knows how to draft. He evaluates talent. Whatever decision he makes, I support.
Mike, real quick here. This is going to be an easy one for you, too. We talked to Corey about this a little bit, but Jared Goff here, he said he thinks Jared Goff probably might not get extended this offseason. He thinks they might have him play it out the year. That was kind of his viewpoint on it. I'm kind of on the side to where I think they need to just lock the deal up, get him what he's at right now, and kind of move on, like know who your kind of piece is there running the football team. Do you see this Jared Goff thing getting extended? After the 97-1 conversation today, to me, I feel like they're like, hey, we're going to lock in all, like you said a couple times, we're going to lock in all of our guys who we have here in the building and who we know we can win with. Do you see this getting done soon? Or because I think him, Penne, and Amon-Ra, all three extended this offseason. Could be wrong. Where do you stand on that, though?
I came into the season with Jared Goff wanting to see what he can do, where he could take this team, win a playoff game. Not only did he win a playoff game, but he had like top 5 to 10 stats in nearly every statistical category, and he took us to the NFC Championship game. I think we should lock him up. He's proved it, in my opinion. 29 years old. The guy makes great decisions in the clutch. He's extremely clutch. This is something that no stat's going to talk about. When it's the big time play, he makes it nearly every single time. Lock him up. Just get it done with. Look, if he has another year like he did this past year, that money legitimately could go up significantly. And there's going to be other teams that would want to compete for his services. A lot of NFL teams. So I'm in the business of locking him up. I've seen enough. The guy is getting it done. And plus, I want to continue to hear the Jared Goff chants every single time he's on Ford Field.
I love it.
It's legit. I love it, man. It gets me all hyped.
I love it.
I move a little bit down here. It moves a little bit. It goes up when I hear it. And so that's always exciting, especially my girlfriend. She really loves that.
Hey, I had ESPN on the other night, and I heard Jared Goff chants just out of nowhere. So
that's awesome, man. We had a cheer competition in West Michigan, and they were chanting Jared Goff. So let's keep this thing going, constantly. Let's get the Jared Goff chants going and give an opportunity to stay in Detroit. The guy is a Detroit Lion. He, as a quarterback, he's exactly what I want as a quarterback. He's mentally tough. He's strong. He could care less what people say. And he's feisty, too. And I like that. He'll bite back at people like Fitzmagic saying he's a poor Matt Ryan. So I love that in the quarterback. Bring him in. Lock him up. Let's get it done.
Who is this guy? Harry Styles? I mean, Jesus, man. He's getting Jared Goff chants everywhere. He's a star.
Don't disrespect Jared Goff, Jeff.
Look, he's winning on the field. And if you've seen his fiance, soon-to-be wife, he is winning off the field. Lock this man up. Look, I want to be the LA rapper when he dressed up like that just because he inspires me.
That's awesome.
I love it, Mike. I love it. Something that I'm really not in love with, though, and I've talked about it on this show before, and I've got some pushback, is the interior of this defensive line outside of a Lee McNeil. I hear the Levi Onwuzurike, Broderick Martins, but I don't like seeing Tyson Alualu out there in the NFC Championship game. That's just me. So I think they have to add to the interior of this defensive line. Do you think they do it? Or should I say, do you think Brad does it? And if he does, where do you think he goes about it?
Oh man, look, the interior defensive line in this year's draft is pretty stacked, if you ask me. If you're wanting to get a nice young talent next to a Lee McNeil, you can find it in late in the first, second, third, and look, we don't got a 4th round pick, but there's talent there in the 4th round. That is where you want to get your interior defensive linemen as this year's draft. I think that's the best option for the Lions. We don't know really what we got in Broderick Martin right now. So I think in investing in that position in the first 3 rounds, if it's the best player available, because obviously that's the route they go, that is the best way to add to the interior. And I agree with you. We definitely got to get better in the interior. Getting the pressure up the middle is important. And especially when we're going after these quarterbacks that are mobile, you get the edges to set the edges, but you need that pressure in the middle. So for sure, yeah, definitely got to upgrade that position in the NFL draft.
Kind of what you're alluding to. What do you think the biggest position of need going into the draft, going into the free agency is for the Detroit Lions?
I think we all know that's the cornerback position. That thing right now is cheeks. I mean, we're talking about Cam Sutton out there and Vildor and Will Harris. I know he's a free agent, but my God, we got to get better.
Don't even bring him up.
Oh my
Will
God,
Harris.
Look, if they re-sign him, I think I'm going to lose my ass. That's all I'm going to say
25
right
overall,
there.
Will Harris.
They say he can play multiple positions. Well, so can my daughter. It doesn't actually mean that you're good. You could still play the positions too, versatile. So look, cornerback position, we got to get better. And that could be something that they could trade up in the draft or down. It just depends how this draft goes. Is there going to be a run at the cornerback position in the middle of the draft? That's my fear. If not, you could maybe get a Kool-Aid McKinsley or Tampa or whoever out there to really help this secondary out. There's some free agents you can pick up. I just don't know if it's really the long-term solution. I think you have to find it in the draft.
Yeah, Will Harris could have a slice of bread with peanut butter.
Oh my God, man! What? Yeah, I don't know what's worse, man. Waking up and your dog licking your balls, or Will Harris is on the roster. They're pretty both bad situations right now.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, I can't dispute that. I'll tell you that, Mike. What I can dispute, some may dispute, is the conversation about an offensive lineman at 29. And I've been more and more open to the idea, Mike, like when Mike Gentry asked that question, the biggest position in need. Mike, could I make an argument that offensive lineman is a legitimate need just because the importance of keeping this unit the best in the NFL? I think that's what you have. Jonah Jackson, Graham, free agents. You assume they'll sign Graham. We'll see with Jonah Jackson. Where are you at with the ideology of drafting an offensive lineman at 29 or moving up to take a Jackson Powers Johnson? Because I think I've warmed up more and more to the idea.
First off, folks, you need to smash that like button. How are you not doing it with the goats on here in this show, man? They were done dirty, but now they're riding it high. So make sure you hit that like button for these guys.
Hey.
It is absolutely a need, offensive line, because if you look at it, do we think Jonah Jackson's coming back? I don't think he is. I think his return is probably not going to happen. Then, look, you can bring back Graham Glasgow. That's fine, but he's old. He's not going to be the long-term solution at right guard. And we know that Frank Ragnow's coming back, but maybe for just this year, you could see a situation where he retires next year. And Taylor Decker, what is the long-term solution at left tackle? We want to probably at some point move Panay over there. So it is a need, folks. And if you don't have the offensive line, we've seen what happened this year. When we have injuries, this offensive line, our offense takes a significant hit. So if there is a tackle and or guard at that spot and it's the best player available, I have zero problem for the Lions drafting that, because we don't need a situation this upcoming year where we lose a guard or we lose a player and then we're screwed the rest of the year. The offensive line is probably the most important part of this football team. Make this strength and continue to keep it a strength. Don't force it. But if there is a guy that falls, do it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Mike. I think offensive line, especially with how good just Jared Goff, if you want to keep him protected, this offense revolves around the run game, so you want to keep that up. I appreciate you, Mike. Of course, like I said, you can check out Mike's content, Lions Chat by Talk Sports, or Lions Talk by Chat Sports, rather. Mike, you have a good night, man. You gave us, you made
appreciate
us laugh,
you, Mike.
Brought information. I mean, the guy didn't miss today, and we appreciate you for that, Mike. We do.
Hey, I got a hell of a day tomorrow, man, so I can't be missing either. So it's all about hitting that strike and hitting that hole really hard and having a hell of a good time talking Detroit Lions, fellas.
That's all it's about. All right, Mike, take care.
I appreciate you.
All right, take it easy.